Hello everyone, my name is Tom, and welcome back to the Roundtable. New York Comic Con came to an end this Sunday, and I am still recovering. It was awesome seeing so many members of the cartoon community, making new connections, and even meeting some of you guys. As much as I'll miss the friends I got to hang out with this weekend, I won't miss the Manhattan prices. My bank account is still weeping. Overall, I'd say as far as the con goes, it was a bittersweet signal of the future of animation. Disney's animated shows had very little presence at the con, with a few appearances by Darren Nefsey that hardly anyone knew about, and if there was anything more from Disney's shows, I didn't hear about it. I don't think Nickelodeon was there at all, and if they were, there wasn't any promotion for it. Then Cartoon Network had their annual costume party, and that was it. No show-specific panels like they've always had in the past, and the announcements at the costume party weren't really announcements, just promotion. I say bittersweet though, because despite this being an incredibly underwhelming year for animation, which is distributed through cable, Netflix absolutely dominated this convention. Both Hilda and Dragon Prince officially announced that they've been renewed for second seasons. The Voltron panel had a crazier crowd than the Steven Universe panel last year, but most of all, we saw a whole lot of She-Ra. From the beginning, I've been putting a lot of stock in She-Ra, believing it would be good. A reimagination of the 80s He-Man spin-off featuring Prince Adam's twin sister Adora. The only problem being, even with all of my faith in this show being good, we didn't really have a whole lot to go off of. We had some promotional images, a trailer heavily edited to show as little as possible, and a lot of dudes upset that a 16-year-old girl doesn't look like a Victoria's Secret model. But DreamWorks came to the Hammerstein Ballroom ready to show off. They handed out swords and tiaras that filled the crowd. Noelle Stevenson was there, the voices of Bo, Glimmer, and Adora, to discuss and show a lot of the first episode, as well as the relationships between the characters. Bo being the supportive, technically minded best friend of Glimmer, who is good-hearted but a bit reactionary. Also, Bo has two dads, so. The most heavily discussed point, though, was the redemption of Adora as someone who is a part of the evil horde from birth, and how it affects her relationship to her former best friend, Catra. They really want to make a point of exploring the complicated feelings of having someone you care about go down a path you don't agree with. The feud between Adora and Catra being something neither of them want because of their friendship, but at the same time, they both refuse to betray their personal values. The story arc of the first season will be about Adora, Glimmer, and Bo searching for other princesses to form an alliance that can take down the evil horde, which I think is a good concept for a first arc because it gives the characters a destination to reach that can be built on moving forward. A point that a lot of people were critical of upon the reveal of the first promotional images was the art style and how it would look animated. Now that I've seen the art in motion, I have to say that the direction and composition really brings everything to life in a way that showcases the world excellently. I'll be honest and say that nothing I saw in the action really blew me away, but there's also so much that I haven't seen and won't see until the first season drops in November. This is also only the first season, so they have a lot of time to build on the strong foundation they already have. What I can tell you for sure is myself and everyone I was with walked away from that panel very excited for what She-Ra will bring moving forward. I was putting a lot of stock in this show when I knew very little about it, and now that I've gotten a taste, I am sold. My expectations are set high for this, and I'm looking forward to seeing if those expectations will be met. I also didn't realize until after this panel that Noelle Stevenson was one of the first people I followed on my first Tumblr account. So it's really cool that I went from reading her webcomics to seeing her on stage at Comic-Con as a showrunner for something this amazing. Of course, there is the elephant in the room of how She-Ra and the Princess of Power relates to its source material. I personally have not been impressed by any of what I've seen from the original show, so I happily welcome any changes that the new show makes, but Noelle Stevenson was a lot more sensitive to those concerns. She expressed that she really liked the original She-Ra and wants to incorporate a lot of elements from the world and story into her own. However, she also expressed that if her and her team aren't going to push themselves to create a show that offers something new to both modern audiences and fans of the original, then what's the point of doing it at all? This is a sentiment that I wholeheartedly agree with and even touched on when discussing Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Everything is derivative, and there are some shows like She-Ra who had a lot of potential back in the day that was never fully realized. Cartoons back then weren't looking to tell a compelling story of redemption and explore complex relationships, they were just trying to sell toys. So why not get creative and try to push these properties towards that untapped potential? But as always, we want to hear from you. Tell us what you think in the comments below, or tweet me at TommyPQM. You can also follow at Roundtable Vids on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe, and hit the bell to never miss a video. You can also support us on Patreon for your name at the end of our videos, or you can get a shout out for your channel, blog, or anything you want to promote. My name is Tom, and as always, I hope you have an awesome day, and we'll see you next time.